All right, this is Brian J. And shout out to the LDBC and LDMMAC. And I'm going to talk about the Antonina Shevchenko fight versus Ji Yeon Kim. She's fighting, I'll just call her Kim. I can't really pronounce her first two names, but Kim came in overweight. She came in 4 pounds overweight, which is unprofessional, very disappointing. But I don't think the weight advantage is going to help her because Antonina Shevchenko has a lot of tools in her toolbox in terms of striking, Muay Thai. Her kicking game is incredible. She's great. She's got great knees, a great Muay Thai clinch, Muay Thai knees. She's got great punches, elbows. She's great on the clinch. I actually, you know what? I was a little bit, I think I was mistaken in saying that Antonina Shevchenko doesn't have a ground game. I'll just say this, her ground game is limited, but it's getting better. Like, I was actually binge watching her last 3 fights in MMA. Her 2 fights over at Phoenix and her fight on the Contender Series. And, she was able to defend well against, BJJ experts. Granted, in her first fight, she was fighting someone. In her fight in September of last year in Phoenix, she was fighting someone who I think was a blue belt in BJJ. But her second opponent was actually an expert grappler. And Antonina was able to defend against her really well, defend against her takedowns, and defend well on the ground. And she won all 3 rounds. She won every round in both of those fights. And in her third fight in MMA on the Contender Series, she was also fighting a grappler. I don't know if that one was a BJJ black belt or a purple belt, blue belt, but she looked good. She looked like she knew what to do on the ground. She knew how to get takedowns. So she knew what to go for. But Antonina defended well on the ground. She defended well against an armbar, and it is tough to defend against arm bars. I mean, that is a vulnerable. That your elbow is a very sensitive spot. It's very vulnerable. But she was able to defend really well, and she did well on the ground, defending against whatever submission attempt that her opponent was trying to put on her. And she was still able to beat the living hell out of her. Now, on the feet, I don't think anybody could beat Antonina on the feet at 125 pounds, except for maybe... I think the only 2 fighters that could give Antonina any trouble on the feet is Valentina Shevchenko, who's not an option. Valentina and Antonina are never going to fight each other because they're sisters, they're family, and that's just the way that is. And you got Sabina Mazo, who's really good on the feet, who's a great striker. I think she needs a little bit more time to grow and evolve. But Sabina Mazo, in a few years, she could give the Shevchenko sisters some problems on the feet. I don't know if she'll give them problems anywhere else, but on the feet she'll give them problems. But and also Andrea Lee is also a really good striker, and she has really great stand-up. But that's about it. I don't really see anybody else in the stand-up department that could give the Shevchenko sisters any problems. Certainly not Antonina Shevchenko. So I think Antonina Shevchenko is going to win this fight by TKO or unanimous decision. I think Antonina is really big and strong at this weight class too. I think she's really strong. I was watching her first 2 fights at 135 where she was fighting women that are basically the same size as her. And, she was able to take them down. Well, she was able to take down her first opponent a few times. And her second opponent, she was strong enough to defend against her takedowns and beat her on the feet, beat both of them on the feat. But I noticed when her third opponent that she fought at 125, she was able to manhandle her so well. Like, she was able to just out-strength her so easily, and was able to get her in the Muay Thai clinch very easily. In her first 2 fights, she wasn't able to get her opponents into the Muay Thai clinch to use her knees as easily as she did with her third opponent. In her third opponent, she was able to get her in the Muay Thai clinch and just knee the crap out of her. She kneed her to the face, kneed her to the head, kneed her to the body, kneed her to the liver. And she was able to do that because she was just so much stronger than her opponent. Now, Kim has a weight advantage. She came in at 130. So she's basically a bantamweight. So she might have a size advantage to deal enough of a weight and size advantage to deal with Antonina's strengths. But Kim is just a boxer. And to me, boxing that's not the creme de la creme of striking that you need in MMA. The foundation of striking in MMA is really Muay Thai. So Antonina has more tools in her toolbox. She has so many different dimensions to her game, so many different layers to what she can do. So I have Antonina Shevchenko dominating Kim, destroying her, and winning by knockout tonight. The fight's going to start in exactly 4 hours, so I can't wait. And this is my fight prediction for the fight. And this is Brian J. signing off for now.